Hello! And there's the intro. Week, sorry about that. I did everything completely wrong, and now I did it right, so it works now. Anyways, today I'm going to show you how a Gatling gun works, or the mechanics behind it, and hopefully that helps some of you all. I just kind of trooped my way through it. I spent too many days a week before doing it wrong, and trying over and over again, but you just keep at it, and you figure it out eventually. So, anyways, here is the working Gatling gun. I'll show you that real quick. So what you have is this here nice little Gatling gun. You pull the trigger, and it spins up, and also it can spin down. So it's got the whoosh, whoosh, and the little shells come out, and it's kind of hard shooting without looking in there. Hold it away from your face. But anyways, that's that one, and I'll show you the mechanics of it. So, inside the motion controller, I guess we'll start there. Or, I guess the beginning is in the level manager. I changed it to equal the second weapon, which is weapon number 1, right out of the gate. But I'll just leave that. So, immediately it jumps to the second weapon, which I have classified as the Gatling gun. And on the motion controller, when switch weapons gets called, and it gets called to say, hey, number 2, or number 1 I guess it is, since we start at 0, it's the current weapon, then it turns off, this is a little duct tapey, but it totally works. I turn off the original gun mesh visibility, since it's pretty lightweight. Later on I'll change that. And then I spawn a Gatling gun standalone, one of these. It's an actor, and what it has in here is a particle system for where the gun or where the shells go. And let's see, those look, that just gets turned on and off. Oh yeah, so there it is, turned on. And the blueprint turns it on and off. It's got a barrel tip and a barrel back, way back there, and it's got a location for the widget to be in the left hand, and a place for the widget to be for the right hand. And these are just placeholders so that I can take the widget that's normally for the gun on the back of the gun and just reattach it to the new one. So anywho, back to the motion controller. When we spawn the Gatling gun, after we turn off the regular gun, then we attach it to a component, and inside the actor, or the motion controller hand actor, is a dummy target. Let me see if I can't find that real quick. Motion controller, open this guy up. In viewport, yeah, here we have the parent for the Gatling gun, which is right here. So that way when I spawn the controller, I can just attach it to this, and it's easy for me to kind of shift it around and see to make sure it's in the right location. So yeah, it takes a lot of the guesswork out of the equation. Anywho, back over to the motion controller. Yeah. So first I spawn the Gatling gun actor, and I attach it to the left controller here. So get the left controller, get the Gatling parent of the left, which is that little null object that was in the motion controller, and parent it to it. So attach to component. And then also set the play rate to 0. So the Gatling gun standalone, if you can see here, it's animated and turning, but you can animate the play rate, you know, up and down. So what I have, it's kind of how I'm handling the Gatling gun spooling up and down. So I set the play rate to 0, and then I also take the tip of the gun where the bullets are going to shoot out of, and then attach it to the Gatling gun tip. So this is the left controller barrel tip, and I'm moving it to where the Gatling actor barrel tip is, which is this one. And I'll do the same for the barrel back also. So back to here, this is probably the barrel back. Yep, same thing, attached to component. So attach the controller barrel back to the actor barrel back, and then what do we got next? Oh, the widget. So the little charge up meter, I have a null, same here. So here's the null actor for the left hand widget and the null actor for the right hand widget. I guess I don't really need. I was thinking that it might need two because it might need it 180, but as it turns out I don't. So I could have just used one, but eh. So anyways, that's all of that, and then I do the same with the right controller, and it's all the exact same commands. And then I set the current gun damage, set the current blast radius, and the fall off radius area. Well, where it'll still damage, but it won't throw them around. And then, so that takes care of switching over to the Gatling gun. And then I have it go, let's see, for the trigger pull. So when you pull the trigger on the controller, first it checks to make sure you're not dead. And then it checks the current weapon. And if it's the Gatling gun, which is weapon number 1, well, 2 actually, but 1 in our order. And then we start a timeline. And the timeline is for, it looks like so. It's just a curve that goes up. And that's going to set the play rate on the Gatling gun. So it'll start to do the spin up. And it'll slowly, go up that curve and set the play rate on the Gatling actor right. And what is it? Target Gatling spin standalone, which is the actor itself. So anyways, sets the play rate. And also, I have it behind a do once. Play the sound for the spin up. That. So while it's spinning up, it plays the sound for spin up, and it does it in the same location as where the actor is located. Then when it's done, it does a quick little sequence first here to reset the do once. So when you let go and you go to spin up again, it'll do the sound effect again. And then also we activate the particles. So the particle system I showed you was being held right here, and it's normally not activated. But it looks like, where'd it go? It's somewhere in here. There it is. So here's the particle system. It's got some little mesh particles with the bullets flying out, and some little lightweight smoke effects and a lightweight little blast. It's actually stolen from the samples. I took one of the sample particles and just kind of tore it apart and mixed and matched it back together. So you got kind of this little blast going on, which is, I think, neat. Yeah, it adds a neatness to it, a cool factor. Anyways, so that gets activated right here. So this is the particle Gatling gun shells, and then gets activated because it is right here is where it goes into the loop for firing. So this is the re-triggerable fire for the Gatling gun. So now it's just the first gun, the pistols, that you can go bam, 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 but you can't hold it down. But the Gatling gun you can, and this is the re-triggerable loop. If you wish to, take a little picture of it. That's how it works. Uses gate, sequence, re-triggerable delay. Anyways, oh, and the fire rate is the speed at which you want it to loop itself. So the smaller the number, the faster it's going to go. And then, yeah, each time it loops, it comes over here and starts fire. And because it's spun up and it's already up to speed, it'll look like the Gatling gun is firing. And then, what is it? When you release the trigger, then we come over here to the current weapon, and if it's 0, which is the regular one, do nothing. But if it is the Gatling gun, which is number 1, then it comes down here, and it does a quick sequence. So the first one, when it lets go, it closes this re-triggerable loop, so it stops firing over and over again. Then, what is it? It deactivates the particle system, so this gun shell's particle. That's where this is. And then the third thing it goes to do is spin down. So it's timeline, same timeline, just in reverse. And so it starts the timeline and it updates the play rate of the animation of the Gatling gun. And then it also plays the spin down sound. So what's that one? Yeah, this little guy. Oh, let's see. Yeah, so that's the Gatling gun spinning down. I suppose I could show you the sound of it spinning up too. Is it? Yeah. Oh, and here is. So that's just a quick little it spinning up sound. And then back to here. So yeah, it deactivates the particle. It goes to do the spin down on the play rate on the Gatling gun actor, and it also plays the spin down sound. And then once it finishes that loop, it resets the do once on the spin down sound. So that is the logic behind the Gatling gun. Again, I had done it previous week, and it was just my logic was flawed horribly. So when I pulled on one trigger and then pulled the other trigger, one would start and another one would. You'd pull the right trigger, the left one would start going too, or if you pulled both at the same time and then let go of one, they both would keep firing. And so, anyways, I had to. What unplugged and plugged in? Anyways, I had to undo and redo a lot of stuff to get the logic down to a nice little concise function. So, but now it works, so hooray! So next up is, yeah, what is next up? Oh, there's a little bug, well, two little bugs a couple little bugs I need to fix actually. One, when I fire the alternate weapons, which are anti-grav at the same time, the enemies just kind of go flying off into outer space because it's too much force. So I need to make it so you can only fire one at a time. And then I also need to make it so you can't Gatling gun shoot while using a gravity gun to pull the enemies into a ball, because then they all die at once. Because they're all around you, they pull into a ball, you're shooting, and all of them get hit in that little ball all at once. So anyways, I need to find a workaround for that. And, yeah, then it's on to the third weapon, which is going to be a silly one. So it's going to be a quantum entangled chickens, or using the enemies against themselves as irradiated bombs, or I'll have to think about it. It's got to be a silly one though. So yeah, that's been what's going down, and I hope everybody enjoyed their Super Bowl. Yeah, and yeah, trying to think if there's anything else. No, that's it. This weekend going to off-road races out in the desert, and then back to working on the third weapon. So yes, hope all has been well out there. Thanks for watching. I do appreciate it very, 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 very much. And yeah, hope everything's shiny out there for y'all. And I will catch you 1 week from now. Yes, because it's Monday, right? Yeah. Anyways, once I find the off button. Yeah, so I will catch y'all next week. All right. Peace.